welcome to the Phil Taylor Jones Show. We're happy that you're allowing us to come into your lives once again. Today's message, as we deal and look at Decision 2016, is why must the corruption and the crookedness continue? Why? I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and let's discuss this thing. Now, I got to thinking this morning as I look out over the world, or at least my part of it here in Southern California, and just think about all the activity that's going on out there that's crooked and devious, and some that's very good and wonderful. But why must the crooked and the devious overtake the good and the wonderful most all the time? Is it by design, or is it actually part of the landscape now? You see, when our founding fathers, way back years ago, when they set this government in motion, sort of cemented it down, so to speak, 240 years ago, I wonder if they were, in a way, visionaries to think of what might occur, say 25 years from the time they wrote the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. 40 years down the road, 50 years down the road, not to mention 240 years down the road. See, when they started this thing, I'm pretty sure that they were honest of heart. They wanted to break free of the old tyranny that was England. They wanted to set forth on a new land with a bunch of new principles, new ways of living, etc. And they embarked upon that. For 240 years, basically it's worked. But along that 240-year-old road, a lot of interesting things started popping up, like greed, stupidity. And boy, has it manifested itself into a huge, ugly creature that we don't seem to be able to get rid of. I was looking at telly the other night. I was looking at a PBS program called Washington Week in Review. I was also looking at a news program on PBS. And I was just noticing them talking about these two corrupt, disgusting idiots that we have ever in our faces for the office of president. The blonde-haired crook and the orange-haired chook, Clinton and Trump. They went on talking about Clinton and the new discovering of emails and all of that kind of thing, and that what she's done in the Clinton Foundation. And they went on talking about Trump and his smoke and mirrors trip to Mexico, and then his back in the saddle again in Arizona. If I seem a little off today, folks, I'm just really disgusted. Exec, would you mind getting me some water, please? Mm-hmm. I just don't understand how, not that big one, give me the smaller one if you could. Thank you. If the minds of the people are this corrupt, are this ridiculous, that they would actually still support these people when day after day after day there is more corruption or scandal or some kind of problem, then where are we as not only a country but as a people? Now, along with these programs that I was watching, and they're constantly talking about Trump. They're constantly talking about Clinton. Not one time did they mention Jill Stein or even this Johnson fella. They are instructed, coerced, bullied, if you will. Thanks, Exec.
Mm-hmm.
Bullied, if you will, to exclude. Why shouldn't we have the choice of 4 candidates for president, 4 candidates for vice president? Why shouldn't we? We are a democracy, are we not? We are supposed to be a republic based on inclusion of all of its citizens. Remember that, of the people, for the people, and by the people. Not necessarily in that order. But the people are supposed to be the driving force of our democracy, of our republic. But yet, on the most important issue, the selecting of the leader, the selecting of a commander-in-chief, the selection of our president, some people are frozen out. Some people, when they do get a chance to speak, they're censored heavily, while others can get on stage and espouse all kinds of rhetoric that is either harmful or sickening. Is it by design, or is it just a natural occurrence? Did our founding fathers expect something like this to happen in something that they so brilliantly constructed? Those 2 documents that have led us to where we are being ignored. Why? Let me just catch a quick drink here. Why? Because it's expected. You see, our government, this political relic by which we live, it feeds off corruption. It feeds off the greed. It feeds off money. As I said, greed with a healthy dose of stupidity has been the degradation of our nation. And anyone that remotely comes up and speaks a little goodness or a little truth, oh, shut that person up. Get them out of here. Ignore them. We don't want that. See, within this corruption, they can come out one door broke and go into another door and get rich, and come out yet another door, and you won't know the difference. Money laundering is not just a machination held by gangsters or organized crime. If anything, they probably learned it from the federal government, who have become masters at it. Look at these 2, Trump and Clinton. The epitome of corruption and greed. One, a crooked lawyer. And if you notice, that's basically all that is involved in politics. Crooked lawyers, who are the best liars that ever spawned upon this earth. And the other, a businessman who has a very dirty face. Both trying to win the constituency of those they consider minorities, insignificant imbeciles that are forgotten and washed away like so much soiled toilet paper until you actually need them. And are they going to be foolish enough to fall for that farce? That's the question looming heavily in Clinton's mind, and even more so in Trump's mind. Corruption continues. That's why we have nothing. How thin is the air at the top? You climb K2, you climb Everest, How many of you can do it without oxygen? Oh, yeah, there might be a few. But the vast majority, you need oxygen. 14, 15,000 feet. You're not dying. You're already dead. You need oxygen. How plentiful is the air down here? Oh, boy, we can breathe. Smell the flowers. Smell the air. How cramped is the road to destruction? For those of you who live here in SoCal, you're familiar with the 405 freeway at 5 o'clock? That's how cramped it can be. And wherever you may be viewing this in your neck of the woods, think of your most crowded freeway at rush hour. That's how cramped the road to destruction is. How free is the road to goodness and serenity? Empty. Jill Stein has a positive message, but it's not wanted by the masses. I saw something on social media today that made me sick to my stomach. They were speaking about Gary Johnson, and he, I guess, had a rally, and it was pretty sizable. And they slough off at him. Oh, well, what? Well, he had his biggest rally yet. What, 10 people? Well, I don't know why he's doing that. He's just distracting away from the two genuine candidates. I started to go get my bucket, but then I said, this is the mentality of people in this country. Too many. Not all of the citizens of this country think in such an asinine way, but too many to just slough at or laugh at. This is serious, people. This is serious. Oh, don't vote for independents or third party because that'll detract away from Trump or Clinton. A vote for them is a vote for Trump or Clinton. Are you really that elementary in your thinking? A vote for an independent is a vote for an independent. As I said before, the magic comes in which if you don't have enough votes for that independent, therein lies the futility. It's just like playing baseball. If you come up to bat and you hit the ball and the other team catches it, that helps them win the game. But if you come up there and you park it and put it over the fence, hit a home run, that helps your team. So that's what we need to have happen with anybody we vote for. We need to hit a home run. We need to have enough votes up there to clear and far and away indicate that this person won the election. Why shouldn't we have a third party? How many of you out there are in the market for buying a new car, or at least any car? You go to the lot, there's two choices. Kind of like the sorrowful part of the game that I like, call a video game called Gran Turismo. They'll say a car lot, and there's one car sitting up in there. So that's not a car lot. That's a parking space. So you go out to buy your new car or your used car, or excuse me, pre-owned. And there's two cars there. You don't like either one of them. So there goes your car buying experience, a shot that you know where. HE double hockey sticks. You go to another lot, they got all kinds of cars over there. You can slide in and out of cars until the seat of your pants are shiny. Well, that's a choice. That's what you're supposed to have. But in a greedy, corrupt, two-party system that has basically overrun everything else that looks like it could be a political party, you have nothing. You have two idiots to vote for in 2016. Oh, we don't need a third party. Oh, you don't want to vote for this person. Oh. Why? Because they actually may go into office and do what we, the people, expect them to do? Why must you constantly push your sleazy agenda. And again, I say, even more importantly than that, why must we, the people, we, the ones with the power, keep sending them the message that, oh, okay, it's great that you're doing that. It's good. It's really good. And more importantly, or should I say more secondly, we accept it. It's the norm. Give us more. Well, there's some people in this country that says, damn it, I've had it. I don't want any more. Take your 2 candidates, take your 2 crooks, take your 2 slime balls, and stick them where the sun does not shine. Take Clinton, take Trump, and send them to the bowels of hell. We don't want that. Sorrowful to say, we may end up with it. I don't know what the temperance is of this country anymore. Seems like anything defiled, anything that's nasty, anything that's corrupt, anything that's totally disgusting that would make a rat puke or that would gag a maggot is accepted. And boy, is the world laughing. What fools these Americans be to want to accept people as their leader who are so corrupt that each and every day there is a new revelation. There's a new revelation of something crooked and devious, from emails to tie-ins with radical racists and anything in between. And this is what we want to vote for president? And expect, oh, well, it's going to get better. How can it? I hate to get crude. How many of you can go to the bathroom and do this here without the use of toilet paper? That's why it was invented. It's going to happen. So you need some toilet paper. So how many times can we keep electing pure crap and not come out soiled? You can't. Almost every presidency from, I don't know, I guess maybe Kennedy, maybe even a little further back, has had some kind of scandal to it. Some kind of double dealing, some kind of little nasty in there. You can barely think of one. There was Kennedy with his Marilyn Monroe thing and some other little dealings. There was Johnson. He had his Vietnam War thing, which was part of what Kennedy had. And plus, he had his little thing going on that they had out in the news. Then there was Nixon. We all know about his deal. Ford. I don't know about him having too many. Well, yeah, his wife was his Achilles heel. But other than him being clumsy and always falling down and hurting himself, I don't think. He had a bad stint with the economy and, with the win buttons and everything, which stood for we in need. No, it was supposed to be whip inflation now, but there was his thing. Jimmy Peanuts Carter. That guy he may have been a nice fellow, but he just was pitiful as a president. He was weak. They could just run him over. He was like toilet paper in the Oval Office. Then you had Clinton, Blowjob Willie. Should we go there? Whitewater, all the kinds of scandals that surrounded him. Then we had Reagan. He was riddled with Contragate and arms for oil and all of that kind of thing. Then you had Herbert Walker Bush, He made the first debacle with Sad Man Insane, or should I say Saddam Hussein, and came back with his tail between his legs. Then we had his son, who started this decade-plus war that we're still going through. And then we got this pitiful excuse for not only a human being, but a president there currently, Barack Hussein Obama. Leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Anyway, isn't it time, as I said before, that we at least have a change? Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican two-termer, Democrat two-termer, Republican, Democrat, country, elegant decay, infrastructure falling apart, morale in the country so low it has to reach up to touch bottom, jobs gone, veterans suffering, homeless people suffering. Under these two stupid, greedy parties. But yet, America still goes down the road to destruction, which is cramped, clamoring after these two idiotic entities, Republicans, Democrats. Have we now been programmed to be robots, following idiocy until we are no longer alive to understand or realize that we have followed that idiocy? At which time do you want to try something new? Some people, their favorite food is pizza. I know I love pizza. Some people, their favorite food, hamburgers, ribs, barbecued ribs, beef bourguignon, bouillabaisse. Your favorite food, whatever it may be. How long is it going to be your favorite if you constantly eat it every day? It's going to come a time when you're going to say, oh, God, I've had my fill. I don't want any of that. I want to try something new. My taste buds are like flat now because I've been eating that every day. 3 meals a day, I've been eating the same thing. Well, at what time do your political taste buds collapse? We've had these two in there for decades, and they've screwed up royally. They've screwed us royally. How much money do you have in your pocket right now? This liquid, fluid, cash, mad money that you can just go and do anything with? Or is it earmarked for a bill? Or maybe is it earmarked for a past due bill? Have you come to the point where it's either or? Either I pay this bill or I go hungry. Either I pay my house payment or my lease payment and have to call the auto company and say, can I get an extension on my auto payment this month because something came up? How many of you are experiencing that there is too damn much month left at the end of the money? And then ask yourself, at which point in this screwed up life, screwed up financial life, has there been a Democrat or Republican there to help me? Because how long have I been going through this problem? If you are lucky enough to be one of those that are going through that problem. See, many of our citizens are U.S. born, being here generationally citizens, including our veterans, have fallen through the cracks. They're not there to say either or, at least in the way I just described. They're saying either or in this way. Should I be on this corner under this freeway overpass, or should I maybe go over there to that corner under that freeway overpass? Should I have gotten a little tent because the rain is coming, or should I go over there and get that refrigerator box because the rains are coming? Those are horrid choices. But do the bunch in Washington care about that, or in your seat of government, wherever you may live? No. It's all about this. It's not about the people. Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka, as I said before, they are people that feel for other people. They are cognizant of their needs. Not only cognizant, but these people go into action. based on the needs of the people, not based on the needs of filling their wallets. But oh no, that contingent of politics, squish, bury, silence them. Don't let them up. We don't need them, because those types of politicians, those types of people can go in there and tear a playhouse down. And traditional, mainstream, and establishment politics and government does not want that. No longer will you be able to go in a door broke and come out another door with your pockets filled. You'll have to leave that money on the table, because there will be someone watching you. Someone to make sure that those funds go back to whom? The people of, for, and by, which has been forgotten, buried deeper than any corpse could ever be. But that's still on the books from our founding fathers. A nation derived and built and established by the people, of the people, and for the people. How long? How long must we endure this garbage? How long must we endure these corrupt, greedy, idiotic politicians and political hopefuls like Trump and Clinton? More importantly, when are you, the people, going to wake up and say, hey, no more? I've had enough of you Republicans. I've had enough of you Democrats. And I have enough of all the whores that you present to us to vote upon, to lead us. To lead us where? Into destruction? We're looking for someone that can lead us on a path to victory, so that we can hold our heads up, so that we can provide for our families, so that we can live in a country that we used to live in, where there was joy and prosperity, patriotism, where we looked out for one another, neighbors knowing each other, neighbors helping each other. For God's sake, neighbors even bloody speaking to one another in our language, English, that we can understand. If we did have immigrants come into this country, they came in rolling up their sleeves, assimilating, ready to go to work, to help build their new country. I remember a few of those immigrants. I came from this country, but now I'm an American. They weren't a blank American. So I am an American, and proud to be that now. On their way to work. Not with their hand out saying, gimme. Who are we anymore? Where are we going? For anyone to say that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are two quality candidates, and that any third party candidate would be pulling away from these honest and real candidates, is a fool. God! Two people dripping in nastiness. Two people dripping in scandal. Two people that are so slimy and grimy, it's a wonder they can stay on the television when you see them. God. Exec, help me. What do we got?
Oh boy, we got a lot. Since the focus of the show is candidates that are corrupt, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. He calls her crooked Hillary. Well, he's just as crooked himself. I have an article by Sarah Jones on politicsusa.com. and it's regarding this journalist named, I guess he's a journalist, maybe I'll find out exactly who he is as I read it. His name is David Farenthold, and in this article it basically explains, but I'm not sure if his tax records have recently been released. He's claiming he denied that. These are based on previous tax records released, but it also brings to light of a lot of crookedness that he's doing. There's two main points. I'll get to the first one. In 24 hours, Farenthold, the guy that's investigating him, has reported, and this is very recent, on Friday, September 2nd to yesterday at 1:10 p.m. Farenthold has reported that Trump's foundation is seemingly guilty of a pay-to-play scam and false claims of giving on its tax forms. These are real scandals, and I don't agree with this part, unlike the accusations about the Clinton Foundation. He claims that they're circumstantial, but we all know it's true. Okay, now getting into the meat and potatoes. The Washington Post David Farenthold is at it again. The last 24 hours have been brutal for Trump's foundation on two fronts, one of which appears to be illegal. Front one, Donald Trump's foundation claimed on its tax return forms that it gave $10,000 to the Giving Back Fund in 2008, but the organization says that donation does not exist. This is the third charity that told the Washington Post reporter that Trump's foundation tax forms were wrong when claiming that he gave them money. He said he gave them money, but they got none, so this doesn't look like a mistake. He's got a bunch of Twitter posts, about 6 of them. I'll just read them in sequence, so I don't have to mention a number for each one. He's got a picture, and he highlights the one I just spoke about. Funny, 299th charity I called at Giving Back Fund at Real Donald Trump's FDN told the IRS it gave them $10,000 in 2008. At Giving Back Fund helps athletes and celebs run charities. At Real Donald Trump likes athletes and celebs. Seemed like a good lead. I asked, had at Real Donald Trump ever given any other gifts from his FDN, which is other people's money, but not his own pocket? They said, at Real Donald Trump's charity gave us money. Look back, no. This gift on Trump FDN IRS forms didn't exist. This is the third charity that told me at Real Donald Trump FDN's tax forms were wrong. He said he gave them money, they got none. In this case, at Giving Back Fund has written to at Real Donald Trump asking for the $10,000 they supposedly got in 2008. Updates when I get him. Also, on the personal front, Trump has misled people claiming he's given millions. There's about 7 to 10 written down here on a piece of paper he took a picture of. It's the final tweet. So, another dead end in my search for at Real Donald Trump's, quote, personal, unquote, giving to charity. He says he's given millions. From 291 to 299 charities that have been listed. Rose Brucia Foundation, never. That's basically they haven't got funding he claims they've given. Boys and Girls Club of PB County, never. Sunrise Day Camp, never. Community Health America Policy Solution, and for the chance of making this not drag on, I won't say never anymore, just the name of the charities. Comprehensive Autism Medical Assessment, New Jersey. Generation Rescue, EIF/National Correlation Cancer Research. Give a Smile to a Child, and Giving Back Fund. All those were never. Now on to front two. The International Revenue Service fined Donald Trump for using funds from his charitable foundation to make a campaign donation to a Florida Attorney General, Pam Bondi, according to a Farenthold report. That's the guy that's making this report from Thursday. In what appears to be a successful effort to launder illegal campaign donations. Trump paid a $2,500 penalty to the IRS because Trump's charitable foundation had violated tax laws by giving a political contribution to a campaign group connected to Florida's Attorney General. The improper donation, a $25,000 gift, it just said $2,500, maybe he made a mistake because it says $25,000 this time, from Donald J. Trump Foundation was made in 2013. And here's where it gets really bad. At the time, Attorney General Pam Bondi was considering whether to investigate fraud allegations against Trump University. She decided not to pursue the case, I guess, because she got this nice little amount of money in her back pocket now. So that was like a payoff, in my opinion. So as the media continues to spin the Clinton Foundation into a scandal, even though it's not a scandal, and it is to me, he has a link to go to that. It is not a scandal to, I guess, explain what he means. It turns out Donald Trump's, quote, charity, quote, is bursting at the seams with scandals, and at least one of them is actually illegal. In 24 hours, Farnhold has reported that Trump's foundation is seemingly guilty of a pay-to-play scam and false claims on giving its tax forms, which begs the question, if the money didn't go to those named, then who did it go to and why? In light of the Trump's foundation's illegal donations to Bondi, investigating where the other money went is a no-brainer. Once again, Donald Trump accused Hillary Clinton of doing something that she was not actually doing. Well, she was, in our opinion, and a lot of other people's, but he himself was doing. The old accuse your opponent of what you're doing, so you get busted. The public. So when you get busted, the public is desensitized and writes off as he said, she said. So we're not looking at a clean slate for Mr. Trump, you know. How are you going to tell someone to grow hair in your head when your hair is all over the place? You know,
and yet the people don't see this. That's the whole mind-boggling aspect of it all. You know, that their supporters, and for him, his worshipers, fail to see past their noses that these people are continuously corrupt. Oh, the news media, the news whores, they're making up stuff on them, or especially him. Oh, they're trying to bring down Donald Trump because they don't like him. No, they're reporting something that's obviously there. Yeah, they're accused of reporting. That's what they do. When he does something stupid, they report it. Not because they're fabricating it, because he did something stupid or he said something stupid. As far as Clinton is concerned, it's not because they're trying to fabricate something. It's because her and her crooked husband are crooked. They did it. The question remains looming brighter than today's sun. Is this what you want? You claim you want a different country. You claim you want us to be what we were back in the 40s and the 50s and the early 60s. We were prosperous. We made everything from aircraft, the Zwieback cookies. We had a military that was respected and revered around the world. We had just patriotism dripping from every pore in our bodies. Americana was at its highest. I noticed something now. When I was a kid and Mom loaded up the car, we were off to baseball practice. Now it's soccer practice. Soccer is something that's out for the world out there. Baseball, hot dogs, and apple pies and Chevrolets. That was the Americana I grew up with. It's gone. The government, through their greed and stupidity, have deluged this rock with foreigners. Good, bad, or indifferent. So now that we don't even know who we are anymore, we can't even recognize ourselves. I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods, but you know, whenever we go down the street here, where's the American? Where's the English? Where are the English businesses? Where are the American businesses? Where are the American words? Where are the American street signs? If you came from another planet and you dropped here, you'd think you were in any other country in the world but where you are, the United States. How many countries can you go to where there is an overindulgence of English or Americana, shall we say? Nowhere. So we better think about where we're going as a people. We better think about where we're going as a nation. As I said, if you're tired of corruption every time you look around, take a look at Jill Stein. Jill2016.com. Go there. Look at a candidate for once maybe you can be proud of. Because every time you see her on telly or see her on the internet, she's not riddled in scandal. Emails. They were talking about Clinton and their stupid email situation. They were talking about the drones. One of the most secretive and sensitive operations in our country's history. Where are they going? How high are they flying? All this kind of sensitive information. And she thought she wasn't doing wrong by putting it on just a run-of-the-mill server, not one that's secured by the government, what have you. Is she that stupid? If she is, and obviously is, do we need her as a president? I don't care how minute the email may have been. This is dealing with a sensitive topic. It goes under the most secretive and most protected email that I can find. Otherwise, I won't send it. I'll get in a car and take my scroungy butt over to the place I'm sending it to and meet the person face to face before I let this kind of sensitive information fall into the hands of the wrong people. That's what a sensible person does. But to Clinton, who has diminished capacity, I'll just send it on my regular and run-of-the-mill email. Donald Trump, his mouth is a garbage can. Anything comes out of it. Is that somebody that we need in office? He doesn't care who he insults. He doesn't care what he says. Okay, one day he's going to run up on the wrong person. If he runs up on them by himself, he may get his butt beat. But if he runs upon them as our leader, we all may get our butts beat or killed. Is that what you want? Is that somebody you want in office? Again, I say, these people are the most disgusting, the most mistrusted, the most asinine, stupid people I can ever remember in recent history to be candidates for our president. Is that what you want? Jill Stein is a refreshing alternative. Jill2016.com. Go there. Do what you need to do. But people, I'm not asking you, I'm not telling you, I'm begging you to please put your thinking caps on and try to understand. I know it may be hard because you worship this guy. You like this woman. But look past that. Look at them as people. Just who they are. He's not Superman. He certainly isn't God. And she is nothing either. Look past your creature worshiping. Look past your following of these idiots. And look at what they've done. It's being reported for a reason so that you know. We need to go for a change. Republicans be damned. Democrats be damned. It's time for a change. It's time for the Green Party. It's time for someone to step up to the plate whose bat isn't dripping with corruption. A nice, clean, shiny bat so that they can knock one out of the park for the United States. It's been a long time coming. Thank you for letting us come in on your weekend. And, okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to put one more quick tidbit in there. Sorry for interrupting. These people that wrote this article are most obviously Clinton supporters, and having these articles in that same post, which will be on the description, as to why the claims about her aren't true. Let's just play the devil's advocate here. Let's just say that their article is correct and true to code, that she's not crooked and all this stuff is just simply accusations. Why, in the name of J. Jonah Jameson, would you want to put someone in office that can potentially has something going on with her? Why even bother with the chance that some of it might be true? Why not just go with someone that has a clean record, like Jill Stein? That's it right there.
Mentality scares the hell out of me. Because with the mentality that's in this country, that dictates that either one of these two idiots, the blonde crook or the orange chook, is going to end up in office. And if that happens, Lord have mercy on this country. Having said that, we're going to close it out by saying, try to stay happy and healthy and stay safe. Keep a smile on your face. And hey, Labor Day weekend, have lots of fun with your family and friends. And we'll see you next time on the Phil Taylor Jones Show. But before going, let's just say, dump the hate, increase the peace. Bye-bye now.